when he was asked about his racial blind spots.
When you're white, you don't know what it's like to be living in a ghetto. You don't know what it's like to be poor. You don't know what it's like to be hassled when you walk down the street or you get dragged out of a car. And I believe that as a nation in the year 2016, we must be firm in making it clear we will end institutional racism and reform a broken criminal justice system.
Melina Abdullah, I'd like to ask you about this because it seems to me that what we're seeing here among the Democratic candidates is a replay of a long-standing battle in the left or progressive movement in America, that if you address the class struggle, racial conflicts will be dealt with, which seems to be a lot of the direction of Bernie Sanders. But there's another perspective in the left that has always said, no, there's a national or racial and class struggle, and they may be connected, but you've got to address the specificity of racial and class, racial oppression in the United States, separate and apart from the class struggle. I'm wondering your response to Bernie Sanders' comments.
Right, absolutely. So there are intersections between race and class, and Professor West writes extensively about this. Manning Marable wrote extensively about these intersections, and so we absolutely need to address questions of class, questions of the economic system. At the same time, when we think about the specificity of blackness, black folks wind up at the bottom of every single economic measure, from employability to household income to wealth. And so we need a plan. We need our candidates and we need our leaders to have specific plans that deal with race on a whole and the specifics of blackness. And so I think that there was some clumsiness with what Bernie Sanders had to say. I think that it's clear that he's being pushed, and I think, some of the push is probably coming from someone I respect a great deal, Dr. West. Some of the push is also coming from the folks on the ground. So when we think about Black Lives Matter activists as interrupting and engaging Senator Sanders, I think that we see some push happening. At the same time, we see him not being there yet. And so we need to develop a plan that really deals with the specifics of blackness, black jobs, black employability, moving forward black wealth. I know Senator Sanders also has had some questions around reparations posed where he didn't have what we see to be a satisfactory answer.
Your response to that, Professor?
No, I think my dear sister is very fair, and I'm going to be with her in the streets, and I'm going to be with her when we go to jail, because there's a social movement side of this thing, and then there's electoral politics on the other hand. But I think the important thing to keep in mind is there will be no black freedom unless there is economic equality, unless Wall Street has some regulation, unless there's a redistribution of wealth downward. So the class issue is fundamental, but it doesn't fully grasp not just race, not just gender, not just sexual orientation, but also empire. You see, when I hear Hillary Clinton say that she loves children, and you got 550 Palestinian children killed in 51 days, and she can't say a mumbling word. Bernie Sanders gave a speech. He said the Israeli Defense Forces went too far. I stand on this, and I'm not going to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister. Now, he's saying this as a Jewish brother. That takes courage in the face of the powerful forces coming at him. Hillary Clinton, she's hawkish, she's right-wing, she's imperial in her orientation. That's very important.
Dolores Huerta, your response.
Well,